we share, with a dash of this and a pinch of that, mixed all up with care. The best company and conversation, recipes and new creations. We're cooking up something good here at home. We are cooking up something good here at home.
Well, here we are, week number 2, Christmas cookies. I hope that you're pacing yourself and getting ready for the holidays, and let's just don't overdo it this year, okay? I know we say it every year, but really, let's just take a step back and just start thinking about what do we really, really need to do. And don't put so much pressure to have a perfect Christmas. There's no such thing. It changes every year with the people that come to our tables and the people that visit and the gifts that we buy. And one thing that doesn't change about Christmas, or shouldn't change, is the fact that we are celebrating the birthday of our Lord Jesus Christ. And I hope that we keep that central. Even though we do all these other things to celebrate, we need to keep it central, that he is the real divine reason that we celebrate this wonderful time of the year. Hope the tree's up, and I hope everybody's enjoying it. And if not, you better get busy, because we do have to get the tree up. But today, Patti and I are just going to do some good old-fashioned favorite cookies. You know, every year when I do put these programs together, I think, oh, I got to find the newest, the one that nobody's done, or something different. But I thought this year we need to do some good old-fashioned cookies, the ones that people really like and ask for all the time, and the ones that when I see a plate full of cookies, I think, that's the one I want. And it's usually an old-fashioned one. So we're going to do a variety of those today, and show you how to get them in the freezer so they're not all gone by the time Christmas gets here. And we hope that you're going to be taking some notes, because you're going to want to make old-fashioned Christmas cookies. We'll be back in just a minute to get started, but first, here's our at-home hint. Here's today's at-home hint. To optimize the juice you get from a lemon or lime, roll it hard under your palm for a minute or two before juicing. Or you may microwave it for 10 to 15 seconds. Cut and use immediately for optimum juice. Well, Patti, how many years have we been doing Christmas cookies?
Many
It seems like forever,
years,
huh?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's been a long time. And every year we say we're never going to do that again. Last year, I think, was it last year?
Yeah, I think we had 500 cookies.
Over
like
500 cookies we did in this program. That was crazy. We're not doing that today. We're going to do some, but not 500. Okay, and you are going to make, which one?
I am making cutout cookies, Granny's, old-fashioned.
Okay, this is Paul's mom's favorite butter cutout cookie. And this is called Christmas Trees, and the whole family, it's one of the favorites, and it's an old-fashioned one.
It's very good.
And if it's good, you want to eat it. Okay, how do you do it?
Start off with a cup of butter. So
And we always use butter. We all do.
Right.
That makes it best.
And then you put in 1 1/4 cups of powdered sugar instead of
you don't use the granulated. Yeah, that makes a difference.
It does make a difference. And then you put an egg in it.
Okay. Whole
and
egg.
Vanilla. Not vanilla though. We're going to use butter.
Oh, the butter flavor.
Butter flavor. And you could use vanilla or butter flavoring.
But you can get that where you get your regular spices and
right. And this will make your dough a little yellowy looking instead of
yeah, that's
white.
good.
And then you cream this together, and then add 2 1/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of cream of tartar.
Oh, okay. Very good. And that's it. That comes into a dough. All right. Now what I'm making is, these are called vanilla walnut crescents, and they're a little different. They're similar to the rolled crescent, the nut crescent, but this is a little different. And we have 2 cups of flour, teaspoon of salt, and a cup of cold butter in the mixer. And I have just been letting it go, and it's gotten crumbly. It doesn't come together as a batter. If you can see here, it's crumbly. That's the way it's supposed to be, all right? And now, I'm just going to take my 1 egg, and I have to separate it because I want to keep the white separate from the yellow, because I'm going to use the yellow later on to paint it before it bakes. That gives it a nice brown color. So we just separate it out and put the yolk there, like that, okay? And some sour cream. We're going to add that. There we go.
I'm really excited about those ones that you're
Yeah, I
making.
think these are nice and moist. I think they're very nice, moist.
Really good. Mm-hmm. And it's something a little different than I've made, and it looks.
Yeah, and it's not a yeast dough, and it's not a dough you have to play with all day. And I hate the doughs that you have to keep playing with. You let them raise, and then you have to play with them some more, and then you do this.
Takes forever.
It does. And then when do you get 3 dozen of cookies? I can't do that.
Not me
I just
neither.
don't have that time anymore.
No, I don't either.
Okay, and then we add some vanilla. And that would be a teaspoon. And you just pour that in, okay? And we're going to mix this up. Save that for later. Mix this up. This is going to go in with our flour and butter. Tell you, Patti, this is not the time you want to have a back problem. I've been having a little muscle nerve thing, so this
No,
is not
it
the
isn't.
time of the year you want to be doing that. But
No,
we're going
it
to
isn't.
persevere anyway. So, okay. Could I have a scraper over there, my dear? Thanks.
There you go.
This goes right in here. And that sour cream is going to make this dough rich and delicious. It really will.
And I like short tasting things, and I think that's going to
I think this is
be
gonna
that. I think it's
very
going to be
good.
out of this world. Yeah.
Right.
And who doesn't like sugar cookies?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think kids just, that's what they like.
Kids
you know.
like them, but I know a lot of adults. I know in my family, that's everyone's favorite.
Yeah,
Everyone.
Definitely. Now you can see how quickly that's come together as a dough. Look at that. There's your dough already.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now what we're going to do with this is this needs to refrigerate for a little while, but we'll make it easier for it to work when you want to roll it out, because right now it's a little sticky. But that will all be gone by the time that it gets refrigerated and gets cold. So how are we doing over there?
Too, and I got it all ready in the bag. Get ready.
Okay,
Throw in the fridge.
very good. Okay, go ahead. Maybe you can pull some of that out, my
Yep.
dough out while you're at it, okay? Alrighty, where's my scraper here?
Here's yours.
Thank you.
You
See,
ready
it
for
just
me to
all
throw yours
comes-
in?
Yeah. Just take this. There you go. Take that. Do this. Wrap this up.
There you go.
There you go. Thanks. Okay, now, after you have that done, this dough, it's hard. That's what makes it very well. Now you can put that in. It tells you that you can refrigerate that for
4 hours.
4 hours or even overnight. So if you wanted to do that, you could make it one day. If you like, then you want to make a lot of them, make a bunch of batches, stick it in the
That's
fridge.
what I do at home. I make
Sure.
all my batches of dough, and then the next day, just
Do all
pound it
your
all out,
baking.
baking them.
I
Yep.
think it's easier that way because you don't get confused.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing with that. So,
And it makes the baking a lot easier.
oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, it really does.
Sure. I think we're going to need a knife here. Excuse me. Because you're going to cut this into 3 separate pieces of dough, and you're going to roll them out 3 separate. Okay, and what's my temperature is on 350.
Yeah, so is mine.
Is yours too? Okay.
Most cookies are. Once in a while, you get something that's a little
375,
higher,
yeah.
375. That's one
Okay.
thing I know is cookies.
Yeah.
First of all, I love them more than anything. I'd rather eat cookies than
Well, if you get a good cookie and a good cup of coffee, what
more
else
do you
could you
need?
want?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's my favorite food group. Though it's not really a food group, but it's my
Well,
favorite.
it could be. Why not?
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Sure.
Well, there's eggs in it, right?
Yeah, it's
And butter.
kinda.
It's kind of healthy.
Kinda. It's a stretch, but it's kinda.
I'm
Okay.
going to steal this a minute from you.
Sure. Now, there's also something that goes in the center of this. While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and make the nut filling.
Sure.
Okay, and you take a bowl. about 2/3 cup of, this is finely chopped walnuts. Okay, and some sugar.
Same
Add it all
amount of
together.
sugar.
And some cinnamon. Okay. Now, to get in here again, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just want to mix that well, because this is what you're going to sprinkle on once you get this rolled out. Just like that. Yummy, yummo. Make sure you do it well. Are you done with that for a minute?
Yep.
Okay. Let me get started here with this. Just roll it out, nice and easy. Very easy to roll out. That dough was too, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. I like this kind of dough.
Yep.
It's great to
Just
work
keep
with.
gathering the flour so it doesn't stick to your board. You don't want it to stick to your board. Remember, we're doing a circle, so you want to keep moving it around into a circular shape, about 10 inches circular. Okay? Because we're going to put our nuts and sugar, sprinkle that over top, just like that. That look good?
That does. It
Smells
looks
wonderful.
And I love
Smells-
that combination of
I do
nuts and
too.
cinnamon and sugar. It's the best.
And then we're just going to cut this like you would for a pie. And I'm going to make 12 in each segment.
Those are really nice, easy cookies to put together.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, if you didn't want nuts, you could fill them with about anything, really. Okay, we have to take a break. We come back, these will be in the oven, and we'll start with some more. Stay with us now. Well, more cookies.
Yes.
The others are in baking, and we're going to show you those at the end of the program. You'll see what we still had to do with some of those. And you're doing an old-fashioned favorite. I'm telling you, this is one that, well, if you make them, everybody will eat them.
Yeah,
I'm
these are
telling you.
my favorites. Absolutely
Thumbprint
still.
cookies. And you have to make them with good ingredients. It's a must to have those good fresh walnuts. You don't want to use the old ones from last year. Get fresh and grind them real fine. They need to be finely ground. Talk us through the dough, because
Okay,
this
the
is,
dough was
you know, if you
real
know how to
simple.
put a dough together, I mean, you know how to do these. So we wanted to show you more what to do with them after the dough is made than show you how to make a dough.
Yeah, but
Go
the
ahead.
dough's simple. It's a cup of butter that's softened, and then you mix in a half a cup of brown sugar, 2 egg yolks, and a
Save your
teaspoon of
whites.
vanilla. And you beat that up.
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Okay.
And you beat it up, and then you put in 2 cups of flour and like half a teaspoon or so of salt.
Okay.
And form them into balls.
Use
You
it
get
with the
3
mixer?
dozen.
Use the
You
mixer?
can do a mixer. You could do it by hand.
Okay.
I use a mixer because I prefer
Now, how
a
many
mixer.
balls did you get there?
I got 36.
So that's
it
3
makes 3
dozen.
dozen.
Okay.
And I like to roll my balls first and then do my nuts. Otherwise, if you have too many, too little, you can pinch them off.
Okay. Now, is that a greased cookie sheet?
No, you don't have to because
Don't
of
have
all
to.
the butter.
Okay, very good. So show us, go ahead and roll one or two
Okay, and
for
then
us.
here's your egg whites that you saved.
You have to beat them or anything?
No. And then you just dip it, roll it, and then I do is one thing. I put my thumb in
Put
it.
your thumb in it, because she's going to put an icing in there next, just a plain little powdered sugar icing.
But I like them plain like this too.
Yeah, I do too.
sometimes.
And you know what? Sometimes I'll put a chocolate Hershey Kiss in there. I've put a half of a pecan in there.
Oh, that would be good.
I've put cherries in there. I've put jelly in them. I mean, it's variety.
Anything.
It doesn't have to be icing or glaze, or you can put even preserves like peach preserves or apricot preserves. It's very
Anything.
versatile.
And
very.
you could roll them in sprinkles if you don't want nuts.
Yeah,
or,
if you can't do nuts, if you're allergic to nuts, I like them with sprinkles
I do
myself.
too. And I think they're pretty.
I do too, especially at holiday time. So, all right, so now, and what I'm making is an old standard favorite that we've made for years here. And everybody always looks for them and asks for them. These are called cherry winks. And what you do is very similar. I'll go through the crust for you. It's a cup of butter, soft butter, half a cup of sugar, teaspoon of vanilla, pinch of salt, 2 1/4 cups of flour. Then you take a 10-ounce jar of maraschino cherries, not the ones with the stems, but you drain them well, and then you cut each cherry in half. So you want a half of a cherry. And what you do is mix your dough. Now, it can be flaky. It can be like crumbly. Don't worry about if it doesn't come together. Depending on the type of a day, if it's a rainy day, it'll come together as a dough like mine is today. But it's okay. If it's crumbly, that's fine too. And then I just take one of the pieces of the cherry, put it in the middle, and then you want to gather the dough up around the cherry to cover it completely. Once you have it covered, then you're going to roll it into a ball between the palms of your hands to make it a nice smooth surface. And that's basically what I've done here. This makes between 3, 3.5, 4 dozen, right? Yeah. This one, yeah. And so that's all you do. And you know, I've rolled this many, and I have this many more to roll. Now, these are going to bake at 375. This is like a shortbread crust that comes around this little cherry. And when they come out, while they're still warm, you have to make a glaze. It's really softer than an icing. It's like a glaze. And while they're warm, you just want to pour a little spoonful on the top. Then you take your leftover cherries and you cut those in little slivers. And I just put a little sliver of a cherry on the top. I tell you what, that lets everybody know there's cherries inside. And you don't have to wonder, is this a nut ball or what is in here? I kind of like to do that, especially when you have a variety of people coming to visit and you have a variety of cookies to put out. And people are saying, wonder what's in this or wonder what's that. You know, that way it kind of helps you. Yeah,
it looks pretty with that little cherry on top.
And it's festive because this is holidays, and that's kind of what we like to do is make them festive. But you don't want to get them too big, and you don't want them to be too small. And have these all separated. These can go into the...
And those are also one of my favorites. I have very few cookies that aren't my favorites.
Is the bottom oven open,
yes,
Patti?
That's
okay,
ready
if you'll drop those in. And they only bake for about, this makes 4 dozen. They bake about 15 minutes in a preheated oven. And I'll have another one of those cookie sheets, please. Thank you. And basically, this is what you keep doing. Now, when you get your cookies all done, all decorated, you know how, I always talk to you, I always drum in about you have to store them properly. And air is the enemy, so you don't want the air to get in there because that causes your cookies to not taste as good as they can. And so you use a lot of wax paper, you use a lot of like a saran wrap or a stretch tight or whatever, and just keep a lot of that on your shelf before. Don't bake the cookies and say, oh, where's the wax paper, or where's... No, you can't do that because then it's too late. And you don't want these sitting out in the air. You want them to cool and ice them and let the icing set up. Now, if it's an icing that will not set up and get hard, then you want to, whatever container you're putting them in, put a layer of the cookies in, pop it in the freezer, about 5 minutes until that icing sets. Come out, put a layer of wax paper, okay, while I'm talking, put a layer of wax paper, put another layer of cookies, pop those into the freezer, let that layer set up. And I wouldn't do any more than about 3 layers of cookies that are thick, that have an icing on them, because they'll start to smash and they'll get flatter and flatter. And we don't want that. You don't want to go for your Christmas cookies to put them out when you're entertaining and they're all in crumbles in the bottom. I mean, I've had that to happen with some that are heavier cookies. These are nice and light cookies. The only thing I might be cautious with would be the thumbprints. And including in all the recipes, we've given you all the recipes for the different icings and the different glazes, like the butter and the powdered sugar and all the ones with the Christmas trees. They're all different, a little bit different in the quality and the texture of the icing that you're going to be using. So these are just some great ideas, and we hope you're going to enjoy them. When we come back, we're going to show you the whole variety of all the cookies that we made today. Here's how you can get all the recipes that you'll need for your Christmas cookie baking. Here we are. Look at the cookies on this table. This is just a sampling of a lot of the things that we prepared for this holiday season. You know, we had our Christmas specialties with our gingerbread trifle and cannolis and all of that. And then Stephanie Tedesco, she made some great cookies. And now here are our favorites, our old-fashioned favorites. And I think a big cup of coffee or a little jug of hot chocolate or a glass of milk would be fine, and you would enjoy yourself at this table. You want to put out small platters. Just keep a small platter going. Don't put out a bunch of cookies at one time. Then if people don't eat them, they get stale and you throw them away. You don't want to do that. Put out some nice small platters with a variety and keep them covered. When someone comes, you have them, put the pot of coffee on, you're ready to entertain. First of all, let's take a look. These are the Granny's Christmas tree cookies. And really, my niece who gave me the recipe said, you know what, if you don't make them in a Christmas tree shape, they just don't taste the same. Now, I know that's probably in her mind, but we're so used to seeing these because these were always on the Christmas table at my in-laws' house, and that's where Paul got the real taste for them. He loved them. Next to that, these are the old favorite here, cherry winks. They've got that little cherry right in the middle, and they're so moist. It's like a shortbread wrapped around a cherry, half a cherry, with a little glaze on top, and then just a sliver of cherry. Excellent cookie. Next to that, look at those thumbprints. I think the light color, the pastel colors of that icing is beautiful with those. Again, you can fill them with just about anything. You can fill them with a whole nut. You can do a chocolate chip in there. You can do jams, jellies, a glaze, whatever you want. That's really a good cookie. And you can use, if somebody can't eat nuts, use little jimmies to roll them in. And then these are our vanilla crescents. And I'm telling you, vanilla walnut crescents, they are light, they are flaky, and there's no yeast in them. It's not a hard thing to put together. It's very easy to roll out. And you get 3 dozen out of a recipe. This is a great cookie. A very nice, that would be nice in the morning for a breakfast if you're having a brunch or something special. I hope all of these cookies will give you some ideas for your holiday baking. You know, it's pretty soon. It's not going to be like in weeks to come. It's like here. And we sure don't want you to miss out on having some great things to offer your family and friends during this precious holiday season. Please keep Christ in the center of your life. Get involved with your church. That's the best place to be during this birthday season of our Lord Jesus. Be sure to join us the next time. It wouldn't be the same without you. We'll see you then.
Food provided by Jordan Banana Company, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, Pennsylvania.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.